Or if you think of a question you want us to do tonight, let me know and we will do it. So a clause that allows a penalty to be enforced if the mortgage is paid off early, is it an open-end clause, subordination clause, a release clause, or a prepayment penalty clause?
We got lots of people telling us it's D, it's D, it's D, it's D. So I'm thinking D.
Okay, so our next question, Candace, you want to do that one?
An unreasonable delay by a party making a claim or bringing an action so that the rights of said party are waived. Right? An unreasonable delay by a party making a claim or bringing an action so that the rights of said party are waived. Is it a waiver? Is it latches? Is that how you say it? Latches? Laches? I want to say it like Target. I don't know.
I don't know. My lip
Reversion?
always says laches, but I don't know if that.
Lache? I don't know. And plottage. Waiver, lashes, I don't know, some
I
fancy
don't
French
know
word.
either.
Reversion or plottage. What say you? Put it in the Q&A.
Yeah.
What say you? And I
What
think this is
is
one
your
of those questions where knowing your vocab is really, really helpful. Knowing your vocab is helpful because you can eliminate. I got B's, I got B's, I got B's, I got B's. I think we're going with the word we can't say. Latches.
yeah.
Tarjay. I'm gonna go with the Tarjay. Tarjay. Sachet. Shantae. Sachet. Okay. That's
All
enough.
right.
Your turn.
When changes in zoning convert commercially zoned areas into residentially zoned areas. When changes in zoning convert commercially zoned areas into residentially zoned areas, is that variance, escheat, down zoning, or subordination? What do you guys think?
You read both of us read those answers wrong. It's really
What was it?
variance. You gotta yell it because they're yelling these
Oh,
answers.
variance.
You know, they yell the answer
In all caps. In all caps. Exactly.
all caps.
Yes.
C. Down zoning. Good job, guys.
Zoning. Everybody got that one. Awesome. Okay. So an estate for any fixed period of time.
Is it an estate at will, an estate for years, a life estate, or a defeasible estate?
For a fixed period of time.
And this is a great time.
That's a
So
cool
we got B,
estate.
estate for years, B, estate for years, B, estate for years. I'm feeling like people are telling us it is B, an estate for years. Good job.
Let's talk about these. Let's talk about
Okay.
these for a second because we haven't really talked about them yet. So, well, you do the first one, I'll do the second one. So, do estate at will, Candace. What do you think?
So in a state at will, I always think it's about your will. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? There's no set time period. Honestly, I think of Will and Grace. You know how Grace or Jack would just kind of stay. There would be no set time. Grace, you can stay here as long as you want, and then you can leave when you want. Or if your best friend or a family member comes to stay with you, it's all loosey goosey. You can stay. There's no official start date, no end date. It just ends when one of us ends it. That's an estate at will.
Yep. Estate for years is when we have a date at the end, usually, right? Like, so I say, okay, I'm going to give you a lease until July 15th or November 10th. There's like that end date when it's going to end, like a Airbnb, like if we're going to have it for a fixed period of time, or if I'm renting a theater, put on a production and they want me out on a certain date versus the periodic tendency for it's for a period of time, like a 1-year lease, a 2-year lease, a month lease, whatever. All right, Candace, do life estate.
All right. So the life estate is when somebody owns a property, they're the life tenant, but they're not going to own it forever. They only own it for the life of themselves. So it could be Maria gives me a house in the mountains as long as I'm alive. But when I die, it's going to go back to Maria. So I never had the opportunity for myself or my heirs to own it forever because ownership was only for the length of my life.
Okay. And a defeasible estate, it can be defeated, right? Somebody who gives you a defeasible estate could take it back for some reason. Like I tell you, you're not allowed to cut down the timber for 50 years. If I sell you this property and then you start to do it, I could take it back from you. It can be defeated versus fee simple absolute, where I don't have any say in anything, right?
Exactly. A set of legal rights afforded to the real estate title holder. It can include the right of possession, the right of control, the right of exclusion, the right of enjoyment, and the right of disposition. Is it littoral or literal rights? Is it facts of transference? Is it the rights of a statehood? Or is it bundle of rights? What say you? Put it in the chat. All right. I want to go back to something that Katie said
Right.
while I'm waiting for you to put it in the chat. Your answers. Katie asked, can a life estate be for the term of somebody else's life? And the answer is yes, Katie. But we would call that a poratri v life estate. Poratri v. So think of it as a different life. It's a different person. So there you go. A life estate can be for the life of someone else, but it's got a different name. Poratri v life estate. But having said that, a lot of people are blowing up our chat telling us D, D, D,
Yeah.
D. It is D, bundle of rights. I love it. You all have it correct. And I think that one kind of answers itself, does it not?
Yeah.
Cool.
When
I'll
land
keep
is
on.
suddenly washed away by water, is that subordination, avulsion, season, or accretion? When land is suddenly washed away by water. What do you
Right.
guys think?
Oh, what do you all have? I have avulsion. I have a B for avulsion. I have avulsion, avulsion, avulsion. I'm liking it. Avulsion.
Yep.
Mhm.
And what about season?
Yes. What is the right of season? Let's see if anybody can put it into the chat. What is the right or what does season mean?
Yeah. What does it mean when we say season?
And remember, as you all are trying to put that in the chat, season can be spelled different ways. Season
Hmm.
can also not have the Z in it. It can just be the SEN. What does that mean when we say you have season? Hmm. What say you, Maria?
Yeah, that's when I am the rightful owner of the property and I have the right to grant it to you, right? I'm seizing
Yes.
that right. There you go.
It's that you actually own it. Good guys. So you
Hmm.
say you seize the problem. That's a good guess, Hal. But it's not that you're seizing the problem. It's that think of it like it's seasoned, it's gotten, you own it, you actually can prove that you own it, like all of those things. It's about ownership.
Hmm.
And I love how Donna put it, possession of freehold. Yeah, and we know freehold is ownership. Christine said legal possession of the land. I love it, Lori. I love it.
Hmm.
I,
So when a homeowner dies and the property needs to be divided among inheritors or sold to pay debts, is that injunction, a probate sale, lease pendens, or a writ of execution? What do you guys think?
Yeah. What say you all? I've got a probate sale. Okay, the possession was before. We got a B probate sale. Donna, are you telling us that it's an injunction? But that's okay. Probate sale is the answer. Probate sale is the answer because when people die, this is why we hopefully you all have wills and you know so that your heirs don't have to go through this whole long thing of what do we do and how are we going to do it? Like you want to have all this laid out. And either way, if stuff has to be sold, it's going to be sold at a probate sale. That process is just called probate.
Yeah. Now, another thing that I want to point out here is an injunction is an order by the judge, right?
Right.
Comprehensive of the three types of appraisals, the most comprehensive of the three types of appraisals is a letter form, short form report, long report, or narrative report. What do you guys think?
What
Letter
say
form,
you?
short form report, long report, or a narrative report?
I got narrative, D, 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 narrative, 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 narrative.
Yep.
And shockingly, but not shockingly, it is narrative. I always
Yep.
think of like a story. It's the narrative. It's the story of, I don't know, life.
Yeah.
Pick something.
And another thing, let's see, a
A
legal
legal
term for
term,
personal property.
personal property. What's a legal term for personal property? Y'all know this. You
Yep.
know this one. That's right. A, we got Sunita. It says A.
Mm-hmm. Chattel. Let's see. What would be, let's see if there's another one. So tell us how we would know that something is a fixture. How would we know that something is a fixture? What are some of the indicators that we use to determine if something's a fixture?
How it's attached. I like it.
Hmm?
Well,
Mm.
Donna, a bill of sale is what you would use to transfer personal property, but you wouldn't necessarily, when it comes to this test, I wouldn't say that's one of the tests that you're going to use. Oh, look, but I have a receipt. We're thinking more the total circumstance test, which is, of course, at first I was like, why is everybody putting your name in the chat? But they're saying Maria. It's the total circumstance test, right?
Yeah.
Irma or Maria. I'm like, why is everybody putting your name? Y'all know I'm not that quick, right? I was like, Maria. Thank you, Carol, for putting the little dots behind it. I was like, Maria. Yes, we know her name. I
Hey,
got y'all. I
Tyrone, if
got
you're
y'all.
listening, so payment of a debt and equal periodic installments of principal and interest. Payment of a debt in equal periodic installments of principal and interest. Is it amortization, usury, liquidation, or refinance? When I'm paying it in equal periodic installments of principal and interest. What is that, guys?
It's yelling at you is what it is. I really, I would pay to just, they can just pay me to come in and not make me capitalize.
Amortization. So if I have a fully amortized loan, how much do I owe at the end of the thing? If I have a fully amortized loan, how much do I owe at the end?
Absolutely
nothing. What about partially amortized? We would have the balloon payment at the end, right?
Mhm.
Usually is when I'm charging more than the legal limit for interest on a loan. So we know that one.
Hey, so you can see my iPad, but you can't see me. That's just something about it. All right, so let's talk about what he put in here. He said a building is worth, give it a layer that I can write on here. A building, it's got a value today of $54,000. And it lost 6% per year for the past 6 years. What was the original cost?
Candace, turn your video on. I just fixed it.
Okay, hold on.
You know
that
that
you fixed it.
You know
And
I
I
wasn't
have a
gonna tell.
name. What was the original cost? Hi, guys. You see my orange for Halloween? This is as dressed up for Halloween as you get, people. This is all you get. So, here's what I know. When I do a problem like this, Tyrone, here's what I know. We have a value today. Today, this property is worth $54,000. But when it was new, it was worth some unknown amount. So we have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. All of those years, we've lost 2% each year. So now what we know is if it's 2% per year, then that means you've lost 12% over those 6 years. How did I get that? Because I said 2% times 6 is 12%. So when this property was new, it had 100% of its value, and we've lost 12% of its value, which means today it is worth 88% of what it used to be. So we know that $54,000 is 88% of the original value, which I can turn into a what do you call that? An equation. So I'm going to say 54,000 divided by 88% equals what? You got a calculator handle here?
I do. Hold on. 54,000 divided by 88% is 61,363.
And that is our final answer. Hopefully, we are not the weakest link. Yvette asked, is it 2% or 5? 2%. I thought I read 2%. Did I read it wrong? I think he said 2% in the question. Well, either way, if it was 5%, if it was 5% per year,
yeah,
then I would just do 5% times 6, and you would do the math the same way. And I think I saw one other question that I think it was 6%. It's okay.
Yeah, whatever the percentage is, you're going to take that times the 6 years.
Oh, I said 6%. Sorry about that. I wasn't looking at my screen. 2%, 6%, meh. You get the point.
Yeah, so take your percentage loss per year times the number of years, and that's gonna give you the percentage total that loss like she's showing you there.
Mhm.
Anybody have any other questions that sorry, like I said, that we took me a minute to get this thing running, but liquidation, Eva asked, can we go over liquidation? So, Candace, you wanna do
Well, I
liquidation?
would say when you say liquidation, I usually think of a liquidation like getting rid of, if we're talking about like an investment, but I want to make sure you don't mean like saying somebody is liquid, because I've been having a lot of questions about that, like your liquidity. So even was it in a question? Because it could go either way. I've not seen too many questions on the idea of liquidation in real estate, but I see a lot in the investment section on liquidity. And liquidity is about how much cash, it's your ability to put your hands on cash quickly. Like generally, I think right now I'm not very liquid just on an everyday. I don't think I have any cash in my wallet. Who uses cash? That's what my iPhone's for. So if I was really liquid on a small level, I'd have cash that I could go like in a drawer and get. Take that idea and put it on a larger level if we're talking about investments. If you're talking about for business, you're liquidating, you're getting cash, which is why we would call it a liquidation sale. If you've ever seen something going out of business and they put everything on sale, they're trying to get cash to cover stuff. So it's all related, but without the question, that's the best I can do.
There was a question that I saw the other day and it said, does this was in a pre-licensing book and it said, is real estate considered to be a liquid or illiquid investment? Like you just said, right? That was the
Mhm.
question. So like Candace just said, real estate would be an illiquid type investment because it takes a while to get rid of it. It's not like I can just go sell a stock and get my money right
Mhm,
now,
mhm,
right? I got to
mhm.
go through the process of selling it off.
Yeah, you stocks are a lot easier. You can just sell it tomorrow. But a house is gonna take, or any type of real estate takes some time.
Hmm.
Takes some time.
Somebody else asked me a question, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Go ahead. I'm going to do another one here while I'm looking for it. It was Satna's question that I saved. That's what it was. So let's do a screen share.
Yay.
Okay.
Let
Hold
me
on.
stop
1 second.
sharing. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Can you see my screen again?
I can.
Okay. So a concept that a more expensive property can become devalued when less expensive or substandard properties are built nearby.
You see my face? This is the face of why are they yelling at me?
The principle of progression, the principle of conformity, the principle of returns, or the principle of regression. Now that we have the chat, hit us up in the
Yeah, hit us up. Look at this.
chat. Light up the chat and tell us while I look for the question that I was going to do. Okay, let's see.
D, 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 D,
Yeah.
D. Mm-hmm.
All right. So Sapna's question is, it's on my phone, so I'm just going to read it to you guys. This was a prep agent question. It says, on a $50,000 loan, the borrower is required to pay 2 discount points.
Oh,
You
wait.
know
Do you want me to
what?
do this? Do you want me to
Let's do
write
it
it
on
out while you
whiteboard.
read it? Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
write it on whiteboard. There you
Oh, darn. I got you. Y'all. Let me get another window to write with, and I'm sick of the pink. Let's do green. All right. I'm ready. Go for it.
go. The question was, on a $50,000 loan, the borrower is required to pay 2 discount points. How much does the borrower have to pay the lender in total, including the loan amount plus the points?
So, how much does the borrower have to pay?
It's a $50,000 loan and they got to pay 2 points. So I see what happened here, Sapna. So one of the common things that a lot of people get confused on when I'm talking to students with points is they think that points are each $1,000. I don't know why that's a common misconception, but a lot of times people think 1 point costs $1,000. That's not true. Remember, your 1 point costs 1% of the loan amount. So here we're doing 2 points, which are 2% of the loan amount. If the loan amount is $50,000, then 2% of $50,000 would be how much, y'all? Put it in the chat. 2% would be how much?
So, 2 points would be 1% plus 1%.
Right?
That's just hideous.
So the answer here would be they would have to pay back 51,000, right? Because they've got to pay $500 per point. because each point costs $500 because 1% of 50,000 is $500. 2% of 50,000 is $1,000. Plus they got to pay back the loan. So they would pay $51,000 total. Does that make sense to everybody? So I don't know. What's happening here? She's here, isn't she? I think I saw her.
Yeah, she's here.
And so, yeah, you guys get that one. Okay. Yeah. So just remember, I don't know. There is a guy on YouTube. I know where this comes from. And he made a video that says that points cost $1,000 each. I don't know exactly who it is, but I've had it forwarded to me several times. And I'm like, and it's taken off this idea, and everybody's got that wrong. So we all make mistakes, but don't be listening to that video.
I will say this, guys, because I do love YouTube. You know, we do our own YouTube stuff. However, if you're going to follow somebody on YouTube, follow a real estate instructor. There are tons of real estate instructors on YouTube. Don't follow the person, bless their hearts, and I love them. They're like, I just passed. Great. I don't know that you know what you're talking about. Follow somebody, only take advice from real estate instructors.
So no, Carolyn, it's not $1,000 a point. That's the mistake that the guy put in the video. It's 1% of the loan amount per point.
This is what I want you to remember right here. 1 point cost 1% of the loan amount. 1 point cost 1%. Think of the P with point and the P for percentage. 1 point is 1%.
Okay.
All right. I'll stop sharing. You want to do a couple
had from the studio audience? Does anybody else have any that you are thinking of that we have not covered tonight? Anything else? Like
I have a question.
Yeah. That would get 1 BP. Yeah, you know me. So, yes, as you know, Candace and I are both stuck in the 90s. So, any reference to 90s?
I like the 90s. The 90s much better. I could listen to Jesus Jones and my pleasure. So, I have a question. What are you dressing up for as Halloween, Maria?
I have not thought that far ahead. I'm still jet lagged from my.
Ma'am, it is tomorrow.
I went and got some candy and I test drove it. I told Candace earlier that when I was playing around with this, I test drove the candy just to make sure it wasn't stale. So I ate 6 Reese cups. They were all good.
I don't buy Halloween candy until the day after Halloween. I will get up extra early on the 1st to go find the Halloween candy on sale. I am that person. I'm the person who got all the sale candy from your Walgreens before you did. It's me.
I am really bad about gorging myself on candy. Okay, so with Paula asked, a real estate agent offers any buyer a free warranty if they buy the property. Is this legal? Yeah, as long as it's disclosed that's the inducement to work with them. Yeah, as long as they disclose that and it's not hidden or anything. Yeah. What's another question that kind of goes along with that? Let me think. Now, remember, kickbacks, when we're getting a kickback from a lender to refer business to them, that's not legal. That's like RESPA violation, right? So like if Candace was my mortgage broker friend and I said, Candace, for every buyer that you have pre-approved that you send my way, I'm going to give you $1,000 referral fee. I'm not allowed to do that, right? Because RESPA tells us no kickbacks. Okay. If that is everybody's.
Oh, and so we do have to tell them, I think on Wednesday, you're going to do instead of me, right?
Yeah, I got to figure out the time. So for those of you who, on Wednesday night, I'm going to be flying back to Vegas. So I'm going to be kind of late. So it'll be late Eastern time when I do Candace's Wednesday night web. Probably.
And we can talk about it, but maybe I'll do your Monday next week. So maybe I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, give you a night off. Yeah. But we do have some questions in here. Do I have a proration problem on my YouTube video, on my YouTube page? Yes, I do. I do have a proration problem. I think I have 2 of them up there. I do. And Ashley said, if there are 2 sellers and 1 signs, but the other is out of town and verbally agrees over the phone, when is the earnest money due? Well, you are not under contract with only 1 signature. So I'm going to say it depends. You're not under contract, so more than likely your earnest money is not due, but I'm going to say that with an asterisk because in my state, earnest money was basically due with the offer for a long time, but you're not under contract. So that's where I want you to focus on. No contract. What are you going to do with it?